Gentlelady yields back. Chair, and I recognize Mr. Khanna from California.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Gunasekara, you're the former EPA Chief of Staff in the Trump administration, and my understanding is you authored the Project 2025 chapter on the EPA. Do you still support Project 2025's proposal to reinstate Schedule F, which would lead to the firing of 50,000 expert civil servants?
Absolutely, and I think there's more quote-unquote civil servants that should be gone because the growth of the federal bureaucracy actually gets in the way of agencies fulfilling important missions like protecting public health and the environment.
And do you have an interest in serving in a future Trump administration should he win?
I do not.
Do you believe that the president should, if Trump wins, that he should implement the Project 2025 recommendation of firing the civil servants?
I think it's the president's prerogative to determine what policies he ultimately wants to implement.
What would your recommendation be?
There's a lot of recommendations that I would suggest that the president embrace from an overarching governance perspective.
Would that include the firing of the 50,000 civil servants, the Schedule F?
Yeah, I actually have a book coming out called Y'all Fired, A Southern Belle's Guide to Restoring Federalism and Draining the Swamp, and I go step by step of what I would suggest the president do to actually right-size the federal government.
Is it fair to say that there are other people who share your view who will be in his administration?
There's a lot of people in the conservative movement that share this view, and there's a lot of Americans.
And will some of them be in the administration? I mean, I have no problem in terms of the transparency. I just think the American people should know what their choice is. And my understanding is that your view is that we should fire these civil servants for whatever reasons. I haven't read your book. Maybe I will. And there are other people in the conservative movement who wanted to do that. And if Trump wins, you believe they should help implement that, correct?
I don't know who the president plans to hire for various positions. I know when he's ready to announce that, he will.
But certainly
in the
it's
ways
reasonable
that he
to assume some of these people would be in the administration pushing this view of bureaucratic reform, as you put it.
Yeah, bureaucratic reform is very.
And that includes firing these 50,000 civil servants.
Again, I would suggest more than 50,000, but there's a lot within the conservative movement that believe, and a lot of the American electorate that actually believe the growth of the federal bureaucracy.
I appreciate your perspective. I just want to make sure that people, because Donald Trump is saying, oh, I don't know anything about Project 2025. You should just say, yes, we're going to fire 50,000 civil servants like you've been honest about. I respect that, so that the American people can see if that's what they really want.
Mr. Khanna,
let me just go to Mr. Carr.
I would just say Schedule F, the policy existed well before the most recent iteration of the mandate for leadership.
Mr. Carr, you didn't answer Mr. Raskin's simple question on ABC and revoking the license. I don't need to know whether you make the same decisions with Democrats or Republicans. I just want to know simply, do you think, based on the ABC debate, in your role as a former FCC commissioner, and do you think that that is grounds for revoking the license for ABC?
Thank you. What I've said is consistent with what I've said for the past 6 years, which is every single decision, including in the licensing context, is one that I'll make based on the facts, the record.
So what is your,
with the First Amendment.
The whole country has the facts. We all saw the debate. I mean, it's not like some complicated question. Based on those facts, based on what David Muir did, based on the questions that were asked, would you recommend that the license be revoked? I mean, President Trump obviously has an opinion on it. He's made it. What's your opinion?
Look, I think I've been pretty clear. Again, I've been nominated by both President Biden.
That's not answering the question. That's not answering the question. I mean,
I've been asked different versions.
You know, I'm not
of
trying to be a debate moderator, but it's a simple. That answer would never fly in a debate. I mean, come on. It's a simple question. Do you agree with President Trump's opinion that? Look, at least I respect that Trump has an opinion. Just give us your opinion, yes or no.
My opinion is that the FCC in every single case has to apply the law consistent with the First Amendment.
And I'm saying, how would you apply it here? If Trump looked at the debate, he said the debate was unfair. He says that one thing that people respect about him, he says what he believes. You're sitting here and not giving us an opinion. Just say, yes, I agree with President Trump, or no, I disagree with it. This is what people, they hate the obfuscation. Just take a stand. How hard is it?
My position is clear. What you're raising are concerns about weaponization. I think that's important that we talk about that. When there's a license transfer of radio stations...
This is a bunch of gobbledygook.
Let the witness answer the question.
I'll give you an actual case. A license transfer in South Florida to a group that people believed were conservative purchasers. Democrats said the FCC should block it because the election depended on it.
But my question is very simple. Based on the debate, And
We've
based
had
on what
Democrats in
do you
Congress who
think
wrote
that
letters to cable companies telling them they should drop
you're not
Fox
answering the
News
question. Then
because
let me
of the
try one last
decisions
time.
that the newsroom made.
Based on the debate, did you think that the questions were unfair or rigged in a way that calls for ABC's license to be revoked? The way President Trump has been very clear. I respect, he's very clear on his view. Do you agree or disagree with his view? It's a yes or no.
Gosh, I think my position has been very clear going back to 2017 as a commissioner.
Gentleman's time's expired, but
Stafford.
please feel free to answer the question.
2012,
Mr.
I've
Carter.
maintained a very consistent issue. But if your concern is weaponization, we should talk about that. When President Biden stood at the White House podium and said Elon Musk is worth being looked at, and then all of a sudden, the FCC abruptly reverses a 2020 decision to get him $885 million to bring broadband to 640,000 people. I think that's concerning. When Democrats in Congress write letters to cable companies asking them to drop Fox News because of the decisions, I think that's concerning. And so I think you've seen from my record a consistent pattern of always basing my decisions at the FCC based on the law, the facts, and the First Amendment. That's what I've done. That's what I'll always do.
Mr.
Very
Chair, could I
good.
ask the gentleman-
Chair now recognizes Mr. Palmer from Alabama.